Once you're ready to add music, most people like to add music from YouTube. So to find YouTube, you click on Safari on your docking station here, and you click on the YouTube icon up in the bookmarks or shortcuts bar up top here. If you're using any type of video with words or dialogue in it, I ask that you use some type of beat. So you just type in instrumental beats or instrumental or beat or whatever you want to represent the mood of your video. Then you listen to it. So this is going to be a good beat that I would like to use in my video. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy and paste the link and put it into a YouTube converter. So to copy it, I just highlight the link, and I can either do Command C on my keyboard or right click and copy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this YouTube to MP3 link here now. So I click on there, and up pops this conversion tool. Now what I'm going to do is once this is finished loading, I'm going to paste my link into this site here, and I click convert. So what it's doing now is converting it, and then it will ask me to download it. So now it's converting it. It's done converting. So now it's going to ask me to download my MP3. So as it downloads, if it doesn't start up, just click it until it does. There we go. As it downloads, you can watch it by saying Show in Finder. So when it's downloading, you want to right click and just say Show in Finder. It will automatically start up in iTunes, so just stop that or pause it. And then what you need to do is you need to take it from your downloads and you need to move it over into your own folder. So here's what I just transferred over there. I'm going to keep this window open and I'm going to close everything else. And then what I want to do is I want to have my two windows open side by side. So here's my download folder, and I'm going to go into my D-Block folder that I created. And I'm going to drag this into my folder. Now this is really important because if you don't do this step and if the music gets deleted, then you are going to be left without any music. Once it's dragged into my own folder, I'm going to put Final Cut back up again. I'm going to go File, Import. And if the Files menu doesn't come up, all you do is you just click down below here to select Final Cut again, and you just go File, Import, Files. Redirect this to Movies, D-Block, Your Folder, and click on Your Music. Now it's going to show up in your browser window where all the rest of your files are. So what you do is you go back down to your timeline down here, and you're going to hit Home on the keyboard, and watch what happens to my playhead in terms of the time here now. It's at 8 seconds, and now it's going to go right to the very beginning. I'm going to take my music, click on it, hold that click to drag and drop onto my audio timeline down here now. And I'm going to let it go. Now what happens is when you drag it on here, you get this red line across the top. If I played it as is, we're just going to hear a series of beeps. So in order for me to hear the music, what I need to do is I need to click on it, and I need to go up to Sequence, Render Selection. The shortcut way to do that on the keyboard is to go Command R. Command R is rendering it. Now that we've rendered it, the red line is gone. If we know that we want to keep our music here and we don't want to move it anymore, we're going to lock our timeline where the music is. And we do that by clicking on the lock button here, and see what happens now. We get these lines through it, and it will not let us select it or move it at all. However, when I listen to this music, there's a few seconds of no sound at the very beginning. And then it starts suddenly. I want to get rid of this so that it starts right away. So I want to cut this. So what I need to do is I need to select my toolbar, so I go from a cursor or a selection tool to a razor blade or a cut tool. So I'm going to move my cursor over to the far left, and I'm going to select my razor blade on my toolbar here. Now wherever I click on here, it's going to cut. So I click and it cuts it into two. Now if I just kept clicking everywhere, it would just keep cutting it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the selection tool back on my toolbar, or the shortcut menu for that is A. So now I'm going to click A, and I'm going to hit the delete cut button that is right beside or right near the home key. And what this does is it moves everything over to the left for me. I'm going to do one more selection, and that's going to move it over to the left for me. And what that does is it gets rid of any of those black spaces. If I didn't do that, what I could do is just move the music over to the left. Now when I play it, the music plays with the video. I see who's made it. Now if we left this as is, this would play for another 4 minutes with no video showing here. So what we want to do is we want to cut off the music so it ends at the same time our video does. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unsnap it so that I can select it just a little bit past my title slide right here. Go to my razor tool or hit B on the keyboard. I'm going to cut it right there. Select A on my keyboard. Select it by clicking on it and hit the delete button on the keyboard. Now if we left it as is and listened to it, it would sound funny because it would end abruptly. So what we want to do is we want it to fade out. So we're going to put a transition in here just like we did with our video transitions. So we click on the end till we get that double arrow. We right click with our mouse and we add a transition. And again, this is only a second long, so a second of fading out doesn't really sound very good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this over, and I usually do it to about 3 seconds, and I can tell my duration because it says new duration equals, and I want it to be around 3 seconds. So now if I listen to it, it nicely fades out.